I love everything about your story. I think it's
Thank
incredible. And I think there's so many people that can learn from what you've been through because it's full of hustle. It's full of determination. It's full of destiny, I think.
Yeah.
So you're a Nashville guy, born and raised, family's here. And you've got roots here for several generations in Tennessee and in Middle Tennessee specifically. 1850, is my history correct?
Yeah. So my great-great-great-grandfather, Charles Nelson, who I'm named after, he came to Nashville about 1858. He was, Charles, triple great-grandfather, born on the 4th of July in 1835 in Germany, and his father owned a soap and candle factory, which he sold, had the proceeds in gold sewn into his clothing, gathers a family, wife and 6 kids, board a ship named the Helena Sloman, set sail for New York, and while they're at sea, ship damaged and going down for a couple of days, and my family's on a little safety boat being ferried to a nearby ship named the Devonshire. The safety boat capsizes, and the father, with all the gold on his person, goes to the bottom of the Atlantic.
Because he's wearing gold.
Yeah.
Probably is part of the problem.
Exactly. So the family fortunately makes it to aboard the Devonshire to New York. Then they moved to Cincinnati. Then they came to Nashville in 1858, and that's when Charles started a wholesale grocery business and was one of the first to bottle and sell whiskey rather than selling it by the barrel or the jug.
And his was good, right? People kept coming for his.
Exactly. Some of the most popular in the country.
And then what happened?
So prohibition, statewide prohibition in Tennessee shut us down, and and that's when we were done. It all kind of changed. In 2006, I had fallen in love with traveling. And, after I made some money bartending, I traveled around some of Europe and Southeast Asia for a few months. And when I got back to the US, I was in Nashville trying to make a little money. And that's when my dad, he went in with 3 of his buddies to buy a cow worth of meat from a butcher. So we're on our way to this butcher. We're running low on fuel. And we stopped to fill up. And at the gas station, there's this historical marker that says Nelson's Greenbrier Distillery, 1 mile east on Long Branch Road. Charles Nelson opened the Greenbrier Distillery. It's like,
you're like, that's my name.
Yeah, what is this? And at first it didn't click because I was like, Charles Nelson's kind of a common name, I wonder if we're even related. And we go on to the butcher. We asked if he knew anything about the old distillery. He happened to live a mile east. And he shows us across the street, old barrel warehouse still standing, original springs still running, drank from the spring. And then he sent us to a nearby historical society where there were 2 original bottles of our Greenbrier Tennessee whiskey.
Which, cheers, by the way.
Cheers.
The original.
Exactly. Okay. And the bottles had my name on them. And literally every hair on my body stood up.
Okay, lightning struck.
Yes.
This is the moment. You're 21 years old.
Yeah.
And what is that knowing? What is that?
It was crazy. It was one of the only moments of clarity in my life. And I was transported to another time and place. It was like my life kind of flashed before my eyes. And it was weird. Like I saw myself in a bar in Japan. I've never even I still haven't been to Japan.
This is the part of the story I've never heard. I want to know about this moment.
So, everything started to just make sense and to click. And, I had been traveling around with just wandering, sort of a wanderlust or vacilando or whatever you want to call it, and no real purpose. And when I saw those bottles, beautiful bottles with my name on them, immediately it was, okay, this is what I'm here to do. And I can now travel with a purpose. I am here to actually, for a purpose. And that I can, share my story with other people. And my hope is that it inspires others to share their story. And we realize, and maybe it's over a glass of whiskey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So my hope is that, we start to build bridges and realize how much we have in common as opposed to, you know, how different we are. Because I think that there's just so much that we have in common, whether it's, you know, folks like you and I, or, you know, someone, you know, like me and even a 10-year-old kid from Laos.